yesterday we have spoken a lot about digitization, newer channels of payment, frictionless payments, and a lot of businesses in India are trying to make it extremely easy for consumers to make payments. There is only one which is trying to make it very easy for governments and billers to collect payments, and as well as banks to reconcile the same. Reconciliation reimagined, that's what we call it. Multi-channel collections is a must. No merchant or government can offer only one way of payment for their consumers. They must offer online and offline, credit card, debit card, Paytm, Beam, UPI, POS machines, and every so often there's a new vendor and there's a new method of payment coming up. This is something that's unavoidable, but it's easier said than done, because integrating each billing system with every new payment channel is not practical. Take for example a municipal corporation. They have to collect property tax, they have to collect water charges, building permissions, so many other types of collections. If they went and tried to integrate every channel with each of these billing systems, the integrations alone would go on for a year. And then managing those integrations is a job in itself. Additionally, every payment channel comes with its own settlement cycle, with its own commission structure, with its own exception and failure management. All of this is becoming a full-time job, a task in itself. And it's really no longer practical for organizations to try and do this themselves. Even if someone, let's say, does manage to do it, there are other challenges which lead to leakages. All of these are examples that we've seen ourselves in the last 5 years. Cash transactions are reported as POS transactions. And if it's not reconciled, the cash is never reaching the bank account. Cash and checks are lying with the collection counters, franchisees or retail outlets and not being deposited. This affects cash flow negatively. Dishonored checks, chargebacks not reflected back in the billing system. So you've given credit against some bills, but the money never reached your bank. Multiple credits against the same electronic funds transfer. This one's my favorite, and this really actually happened. A certain large business in a small municipal council area transferred funds via NEFT to the council's bank account. After transferring, he took the UTR receipt from the bank, went to the property tax department, met the additional commissioner and said, "Sir, I've transferred 50 lakhs. So the commissioner called the accounts department and said, "Check this UTR number. How much money have you received?" "Sir, 50 lakhs. "Okay, give him a receipt." Next week, he takes the same UTR receipt, goes to the LBT department. "Sir, I've paid my LBT. The LBT commissioner looks at it, calls the accounts department. "How much money have you received against this UTR number?" "Sir, 50 lakhs. Give him a receipt." So he paid 50 lakhs once and took credits worth 1.5 crore. This really happened and was figured out March end of next year. So this one's my favorite. Transactions not settled by gateways, although the incidence of this is rarer and rarer, but occasionally due to technical issues or human errors, this does happen. Deposits not credited to the bank account. Again, a very, very rare scenario, but when it happens, it can be very harmful, because CMS vendors occasionally, we've seen them to lose checks. And the volume or the number of checks are large, so the value is very high. The consequence of all of this is that the credit in the billing system is more than the money in the bank account. The merchant, the biller, the government has lost its money, or the bank, in the worst case, is out of pocket. The solution is Bill Cloud. Very simple, high-level architecture. To the left, we have your billing systems. You integrate with us once. Become pre-integrated with all the channels of payment. All the channels of payment available in India today, whether it's a payment gateway, whether it's BBPS, whether it's e-wallet service providers, whether it's POS machines, door-to-door collection service providers, and cash collection or check collection at the merchant's or government's own counter. All of these come pre-integrated with Bill Cloud. All you need to do is integrate your billing systems, and your collections, multi-channel collections, can start immediately. You never ever have to look at any new channel. A little bit of description of how we do this. We establish a layer between the billing systems and the payment channels. By doing this, we track every transaction from the moment it is initiated in the billing system to the steps or journey it takes through the payment channel until the point it reaches the bank account. This entire journey is marked by various status messages depending on the channel. So simply by looking at the status message, one will know exactly where the money is. It also makes handling exceptions and failures very easy and totally automatically. Like you saw, a very simple architecture. There's a wise, simple old saying, which is "Kal kare so aaj kare so ab." Why I'm talking about it is because we have made reconciliation automatic and real time. You no longer need to wait until the month end to reconcile your books of account. All the channels that are being offered by Bill Cloud are reconciled automatically. All the transactions that happen on any of those channels are reconciled automatically. So why put off something until tomorrow, that which can be done today? A little snapshot of how this happens. On the left here you have the channels, the transaction count for each channel, the total amount collected, the amount that has reached your bank, and in the last column the amount that is yet to reach. So this happens in real time, this happens automatically. Every time a channel settles money to your bank accounts, it is marked in the system as reconciled. Have any of you ever seen a selfie of an accountant saying, "Reconciliation done"? That never happens. Nobody likes that job. You will never find anybody saying, "Oh, I live for reconciliation. The vision, the mission of my life is reconciliation." That never happens. So we automated it. People don't love it. We just spoke about chatbots and AI and ML. We've used not very deep ML or AI, but we've used as much as we could to automate reconciliation so that you can put your people to productive work, to work for growing your businesses, not for doing grunt work. Making it totally transparent, no human intervention, totally unattended by humans. This is the outcome of what we do. Since you're all mostly technologists here, I'll take a moment and explain this report. An accountant would have loved this report and would be clapping right now, I know, but anyway. So on the top you have money or transactions that happened in the previous month for which money was received in this month. In the middle section, you have channel-wise or payment mode-wise transactions that happened this month and the money was also received in the same month. Here you have transactions that have happened in this month, but we will receive the money in the next month. Finally, you have the closing balance, and you have checks or chargeback, anything that bounced, check bounced or chargeback or any kind of transactions that money did not come for. If you've heard accountants saying month end I'm busy, this is what they're preparing. We know. Our system does this automatically, does this real time. 5-6 p.m. on the month end, the accountant can simply file this report and go home. Month end is just another day of the month. It's no longer the month end. It's no longer a problem day. Analytics, a lot of the management always asks us questions once this is implemented. how many are happening online, how many are happening offline, which areas is more online, which areas is more offline, how can we move people to online more, we don't want cash, we want to reduce cash. All of those questions can be answered because we have so much of collection data, so much of transaction data, so much of comparative data from previous years or quarters or months. So an analytics dashboard comes pre-packaged with the platform. A mobile dashboard, because a lot of the senior management does not want to remember URLs and usernames and passwords. So there's an app in their phone, it's pre-authorized, they just click it and real time they can see how much have we collected, how much is deposited, how much is yet to be deposited. All of that shown on the phone in real time. For support and collaboration, we usually have a full-time dedicated staff for the merchant or the bank, but it depends on the number of transactions, the volume. The higher it is, the more required this is. For citizens, we have introduced a chatbot. So citizens no longer need to interact with the merchant and say, how can I make a payment? Can you send me a link? What is your URL? No, it's a WhatsApp-based chat. They just say, consumer number, send payment link. And they have a customized 24-hour expiry kind of payment link right there. They make the payment from the phone, they get the receipt immediately. They can also say, consumer number, send me the last 3 receipts. They can say, consumer number, send me the nearest location to pay cash. Consumer number, what are the office timings? So a lot of the basic simple questions that they wouldn't know, or they would have to go to a website or a phone number, the chatbot can handle now. Of course, this is new, it's being developed, so over a period of time we'll see even more use cases for the chatbot, but restricted to payment related issues. Of course, there are predefined SLAs and escalation matrix for any support related inquiries. The result of doing all of this is we will always ensure that the credit in the billing system is equal to the money received in the bank. That's the outcome of implementing Bill Cloud. Other than doing multi-channel collections for government offices or large merchants, what we also do, we have a very agnostic pre-con engine that is helping banks reconcile some of their payment systems, for example, ETC tags, NACH, NEFT, RTGS, those kind of payment transactions reconciled with general ledgers. We have a B2B wallet platform that helps merchants scale their business without investing a lot themselves. This works on a prepaid model similar to the telecom industry, where they give out distributors on a prepaid model. That's basically what Bill Cloud is. That's what we do. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for listening. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.